Hello. Let me know if you can hear and see, please. Sorry. Hi, Susan. Hi. Let me know if you can hear and see. Beautiful sin. You're making quite a lot of progress. Yes, can hear and see. Thank you. Well, I'm done piecing this one. So I'm slowly removing all of the papers. And I say slowly because it's not a fast process, but yeah, and then I don't really know how to proceed with it. So I might just set this piece aside just for a bit, work on the other project I have on, and come back to it when I know a bit more what I want to do. But my original idea was to make a cushion cover with this. I mean, it's definitely not perfect in a lot of ways, like the squares don't always line up perfectly, but I mean, it's not made by a machine, it's made by a human, so I'm kind of okay with it. But yeah, I'm about halfway done with removing all the papers on the pieces. I don't know if I used a bit too much glue, but they are quite well stuck in there. Thank you so much. I'm using a palette knife to try and pry the fabric from the paper, which kind of cracked me up. You could try a seam iron if you don't get them out. What do you mean? I mean, they're papers, so I can't really leave them in either. If I try to wash this piece, it's all gonna become mush. Might need to try and use my iron to flatten it up when I'm done, because there's a lot of you know, corners meeting up and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure it could benefit from being a bit more flat. But I'm not exactly there yet. I know there are, like, you can buy hexaforms. They're kind of the same idea, they're shapes, but they're made in a thing that's a bit halfway between fabric and paper in a way, and you just leave them in. Oh, this thing will loosen up the glue. That's fair enough, that's a good point. But it would soften the paper too, wouldn't it? Hey, Box of Paint, hi! Hello! How are you guys? I forgot to ask, but how is everyone? Hope it's been a good week. Hope it's been a good week for you too. Yeah, it would soften the paper, but as far as I can see, the paper is quite sturdy. Yeah, it's. I tried making the shapes with cardboard or cardstock, because I tried with the printer paper with some laminate on it, like plastic laminate, and they they kind of have the opposite issue with those, is that they don't stay in place well enough. They tend to, you know, fall off the project. And while these, they would definitely not fall off the project. Really well glued in place, but I need to find a kind of a balance between the two. Could probably use a hairdryer, like with hot hair, to kind of soften the glue, maybe. I don't know if that would work. It's such a gloomy, rainy day here today. I don't know what kind of weather you guys have, but oof. Like, we had a good 2 weeks of, you know, decent sunny weather, at least during the day. But now we're scheduled to have like the same amount of time in rainy weather. All the sun, then all the rain. I don't mind it as much. The only issue I have with it is that it makes me sleepy. We are good on a little vacation, and I was thinking of you when we toured an art gallery of cat art. Accompanied by real cats. What? Where? How? Did you take pictures? That sounds amazing. Oh, I can't imagine. So distracted from looking at the art by all the real cats moving around. Oh my gosh. It's strange in the Netherlands, exactly between cold and hot. How humid is it? I have done my back end muscle is a bit. Oh no! Okay, that's perfectly fine, Susan. I hope you feel better soon. That sounds really unpleasant. Oh yeah, oh the flight. Yeah, I remember those flights. I had forgotten that it was like now. I don't know how you managed that, but wow, that's a very good deal. There's no way they are making money, like the airline is making money on those seats. Absolutely no way. A friend was going to Scotland and couldn't get there because of strikes, and they had some crazy bad weather up there. Oof. It's going a wee bit better than yesterday, but I'm still mostly on my yoga mat listening to audiobooks for YouTube. I'll be back later. I hope you see some really quick improvement on that. I mean, your current setup sounds comfy, but yeah, back pain is really difficult to manage because you like whatever you do, you gonna use your back anyway, so my iPad too. Cool. Hey, Cleo! Hello! Stepping in to say I'm running out. I have to work on a work project today. I should tell my friend who loves quilting about this. Oh! Yeah, by all means, if it happens to be on the topic, send them over. Back pain and toothache are things I wouldn't... Oh, definitely. They're both, like, headaches too. Like, they're quite debilitating. Like, any pain is gonna be a pain. But I feel like there's certain parts that can be painful, but you can still somewhat manage to distract yourself from the pain by doing stuff with the rest of your body that is not, like, in complete pain. But there are other parts, like back pain. I feel like it's super difficult to find any position that's comfortable. And headaches, well, it's difficult to do anything with a headache. Allergies and rain. The current weather theme. Have a good weekend, Cleo. I hope work goes well. I hope you, like, plow through it super efficiently and that it all goes well. I am amazed at how single-minded to have to list someone pain I got to do some... Oh, oh yeah, that sounds awful. It's the kind of situation that really highlights, like, what errands are, like, really important stuff that you have to do and what errands can be done later. Yeah, do I really need to do this one thing? No, I guess not. When we got here, I found out that Pokemon and the Van Gogh Museum teamed up with an exhibit to get kids interested in the arts, and the jackasses of the world went through first round and bought out the entire gift shop and immediately... What? Oh, that's depressing. Oh no. Oh. Ah, that's so sad. I don't know what kind of measures you could have in place to limit that kind of stuff from happening. Perhaps, I don't know. But that really sucks. But you should look at the pieces they did. There are 5 Van Gogh paintings with Pokemon and they're the freaking cutest. Oh, Snorlax in the room. I'll have to. I'll grab some paper and a pen and. Yeah, I don't think autocorrect is gonna let you write Snorlax properly. Okay, I understand that Pokemon is not just for kids, but to go to the gift shop and to buy everything, there's definitely a special hell for that. Well, I mean, buying everything with the intent of reselling it at probably a substantial markup too. Special hell. It's the same energy than you find with scalpers. But at least, I mean, usually scalpers, they buy tickets for show that are like concerts and whatnot that are not necessarily for kids. But if the Pokemon and Van Gogh collab was a way to get more kids in museums, then that's really terrible. It's so terrible. I feel for the staff who have to keep telling people, "Aw." They don't have. They have to keep telling kids. That's like, that's just. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's. I don't even like kids, but I can still understand that it's gonna be harder to tell that to a kid that, you know, greedy people can buy and bought all the stuff. Hey Melissa, hi! I'd like to know, we also went to a flagship Tony's. Oh, the chocolate? In the Netherlands? Really? Tell me more. I want to know more. This is so beautiful, even from the back. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Hold on, let me flip it. There. I'm almost done removing all the papers, but since there's still all the seams in the back, it's still kind of fluffy, which cracks me up. But yeah, the fabrics, they were all a big bunch of scraps that Otto sent me. Like, she literally took her fabric scraps bin, emptied it into a bag, and sent it along to me. I know most of the colorful patterns in there are Liberty fabrics. I don't know where most of the like gray, beige, silver fabrics come from, but I can tell that they're not the same cotton weight as the Liberty fabrics. You can make your own bar. They had 5 flavors only available at that store. Christmas flavors are out, and they were £3 a bar. So did you buy an extra luggage just to hold chocolate back home? Is this what happened? Oh, what were the special flavors? Did you buy any? Did you taste any? Tony's chocolate is the best. God bless Otto. It's £7 a bar in the UK, so really good deal. Yeah, definitely. It's $7 or so per bar here, so I don't know why you guys get such a price hike, but dude, £7. That's a lot of money. It's a good thing the chocolate is good, because otherwise, oof. Also, like, aren't the Tony's bars, like, substantially chunkier? Like, it's more chocolate, right? It's not 100 grams, it's over that, I think. Hey, Paulo! Hello! They had raspberry cake, all the flavors, pecan and toffee, a mint one. Dude! Oh, man. Raspberry cake. Why cake though? Were there like, I don't know, cake bits in the chocolate? It's definitely chunkier than a Cadbury. Well, yeah. I mean, a Cadbury is around 50 grams. Like it's, what, it's 40, 50 grams, a standard chocolate bar. Usually when you buy a candy bar, it's around that. When you buy a fancier chocolate bar, like, that's usually 100 grams. If you go to the organic, fancy schmancy stuff, sometimes they have it between 70 and 100 grams. But I feel like the Tonys are like 150 or something. So at least, like, the price is higher, but you get more chocolate too. That's the point I was trying to make very poorly. Talking chocolate works for me. Oh my gosh. Chocolate, why is it so good? I really, really, really love melted chocolate. Gingerbread and meringue. It's the one I'm scared to try because I will remortgage my house of gingerbread. I hope you bought more than one. Oh, it sounds delicious though. I would not have expected a flagship Tony store to be in the Netherlands because I think it's an American company, isn't it? But yeah, all good, I'll take it. It's perfectly good with me. Let's go. Oh, and they had loads more dark chocolate versions. It was... Yeah, I saw that. They have a lot of dark chocolate versions, but the place I can buy Tony's from, it's an online store in Canada, and they don't have a lot of them, and the ones they have still have a bit of dairy in them. So I'm always a bit bummed out when I see chocolate labeled dark chocolate, but it still has dairy in it. I'm like, oh, come on. Need to make some gingerbread. Oh, man. I love the gingerbread cookies. I know it's not exactly bread, but I'm I found a recipe years ago that is my favorite. My mom used to make gingerbread cookies a lot, but there was something about a recipe that always felt a bit off with me. I mean, they were delicious, don't get me wrong, but it's a bit as if the ratio of the ingredients, there was something that was bothering me in terms of flavor profile, but I could never really figure out what. But oops, much later on, I found a recipe that happens to be vegan. Like, that was not on purpose, but it's, oh, I totally ripped out a piece of the paper here. Yeah, it's vegan, and the flavor profile is much more to my liking. It has a whole lot more fresh ginger in it. It's kind of more spicy and spices, less sugar and fat in terms of taste. And I really, really like it. Otto! Hey! I'm glad to see you. Yes, I'm finally removing the papers. It's a very time-consuming step that is not necessarily my favorite. So I might incorporate foundation paper piecing projects in my future work. Because you don't have to take the papers off, I guess, right? Tunis was founded in 2005 in the Netherlands. Oh, I got that wrong. Okay. I don't know why I had that weird memory. I think it's from the documentary, but I've watched it quite some time ago. But yeah, I mean, all good. The point still stands. Oh, you do have to take the papers off. What's the difference? Because I thought it was just, goes to show that I haven't really looked into it yet, but I thought that the difference was that you use the paper to trace the shapes onto the fabrics, but like you can reuse the template to trace more than one piece. You don't leave the template with the fabric, because otherwise it's kind of just like APP. We thought it was from California until yesterday. The more you know. Did I say Canada or California? I meant to say California. Kind of feels like it's too wholesome to be from California in a way. I don't know why. Foundation, you are destroying the template. Oh, what? That sounds super scary. Just completely wild. Gotta say, the fact that the company is named Tony's is not very like it definitely sounds like it could be American. You know, you can loosen the glue. Yeah, Susan was here in earlier and she mentioned that, but not really set up to do it right now. It's kind of funny because like the other piece I started with the hexagons, I kind of prepared my shapes differently. And as a result of that, the papers fall off the hexagons by themselves. So I didn't expect this I did something a bit different, but I didn't expect it to be this efficient. Tony sound Italian. Yeah, definitely. Same. I think we have a neighbors, an Italian neighbor that's named Tony's, because yeah. Yeah, I have a couple of other things. I tried like poking, but I still have to loosen up the sides first. So I switched to a palette knife, and it kind of works. But yeah, it's not the most fast process, and it kind of frays the fabric a lot, depending on which fabric it is. The Tanalon takes it a whole lot better than the slightly heavier quilting cotton, but yeah. So what I did different for the hexagons that I had started the piece with hexagons with is that I used regular printer paper, you know, the regular kind of thin kind, like standard paper, and I put some plastic laminate on one side and then cut the pieces off, because I saw that one of the pre-made paper packs of hexagons, they were made from this sticker release paper kind of, and I was like, oh well, chances are the laminate is going to work as a sticker release paper, but that's going to not cost me anything because I already have all these supplies. And yeah, it indeed, it sticks, but really temporarily. And as you work the piece and have to fold some of the... I didn't have that issue here with the triangles, but the hexagons, you have to fold them at some point when you attach them together. And that's when they kind of get unstuck, unglued. You have to trim the threads before adding the... I have no idea. I don't really know what I'm doing. I kind of check it up as I go. I feel like I might have to press it, and I'll see about if I don't think they really show through, but I might have to like do a round of trimming all the threads. No, yes. Hold on, no what? Yes, what? No cutting threads. Okay, cool. I like that. Yes, press it. Yes, need to press. Okay. I mean, the fact that it's called pressing it sounds super fancy. All I have is a travel iron and a very small ironing board. But I'll do what I can. There's just so many seams, like just this one, like that's easy to press. You just like flatten it out, press it, done. I hope Otto's gonna be like, that's not how you press it. I'm blah, what? Okay, but then you have these corners where there's like a cacophony of seams, and I don't know what I'll do. It's a good thing this is the, you know, inside of it. There's a friend I grew up with that they had this kind of press thing for garments, you know, instead of being just an iron, it was a bigger thing, and you just, like, you open it up, put the piece, press it down. So when I hear pressing, that's always what comes to mind. We all have different ways that works for us. Oh, okay. I don't dictate how people should press their patchwork. I just don't know if there's a way. Like, I need to to check it out. I have to have handkerchiefs and those and seam around. With the only things I'll press. You press your handkerchiefs? That's fancy. A couple of layers of sheets will work for an iron. Yeah, I heard that you can put some towels too. Like perhaps a towel and then sheets on top. I'd rather do almost anything than pull out my iron. Yeah, I don't I don't iron any clothing. The only reason I have an iron is that I bought it like a really long time ago for fabric. Like for when you wash fabric and you, because I don't know, at some point I wanted to try making garments, I guess. Sorry. That never happened, but for garments you have to pre-wash the fabric, but when you wash it and dry it, it's all wrinkled, so you have to iron it out. And that's the only reason I have an iron, it's for that. Oh, that's not good. Where is that coming from? I don't know if you saw, but I was able to pull a lot of thread and... Oh, it's from this one. Okay. Don't ask too many questions. There is something incredibly satisfying when suddenly the sewing project is nice and flat again. I agree. I love seeing it. I don't necessarily love doing it. If a project involves ironing, I will find a different... So quilting is not for you, I guess. I saw some people have really fancy irons that are kind of made for quilting in a way, because they are on not a stand that you necessarily plop them on. They come with this like silicone trivet thing, but they are on a stand, and when you want to use it, you can just grab it and you push on it and you kind of, you know, lower the iron to the fabric. But when not in use, you just leave it like that, and it's not hot enough that it will burn the surface it's on, because there's this gap. But yeah, I haven't really looked into it. I just saw people using it and I was like, is that how this works? This looks amazing. Starching and ironing quilting fabric is very therapeutic, I find, but as soon as I need to iron something else, no thanks. That's funny. At least with you know, with fabric, it's all flat. Like, you don't have to think about how am I gonna iron this sleeve, or how am I supposed to iron these pleats, or I don't know, stuff like that. Oh gosh, I would forget to turn it on, to turn it off when I'm done. Yeah, that's the issue with it. Unless it has a kind of you know, a timer device in it that, like, if it's been on, like, unpressed for X amount of time, it shuts off on its own. Thread shirts are a nightmare, seriously. Like, they taught us how to iron stuff back in high school. And yeah, I remember just when you get to the cuff and stuff like that, and it's just like, why would anyone bother doing that? That's so annoying. And you kind of need the thingamajig for sleeves, like the smaller ironing thingy. Anyway, bleh. Yeah, I'm learning a lot lately about this kind of stuff. I'm not very organized, so I think Otto would hate to watch me work. I kind of learn a lot on a need-to-know basis. for stuff, or if I stumble upon something informative, I will like find a way to save it somewhere or keep it to memory or stuff like that, but it's not very organized. Like if I see a thing that I don't know what it is or what it does, I will Google that and figure that bit out right away, but not in context of anything. I haven't shown the stream the piece with blacklight yet, but yeah, all the pink red threads are neon red thread. So when you put a blacklight to this piece, all the seams glow up, and it's pretty cool. I'll start showing it. Okay, so for people with sensitive eyes, just close your eyes for a second. I'm gonna shut down my light. I don't want it to flash. Okay, so close your eyes. 3, 2, 1, click. Okay, so it kind of tries to compensate, and you can still see a lot, but this is a blue light. I don't know if we'll be able to see. Yeah, it's a bit harder to see because the camera does a lot of compensating, but you can, first of all, you can spot which fabrics are white, and then you can kind of see the glowy seams, like all around. I kind of really like that. Alright, I'm gonna light up the light again, so be careful for that. 3, 2, 1, click. I'm a quick starter. Yeah, I'm a quick starter. You problem solve by giving it a go. I don't know how I want to quilt it though. Like I said, like it's I figure out one step and then I'm like, okay, what's the next one? I kind of need to get this quilted, so how do I do that? And I will research precisely that. My hair is supposed to glow in UV, and hoping we get to find out tonight. Ooh! Hope so too. That would be really cool. I love UV lights. I love neon stuff. I have my first official crochet lesson on Monday. Oh, that's awesome! Keep us posted on that. Because I know there's quite a few crochet aficionado in the community, me included, and Otto. Quilting is the horizontal. All the horizontal and vertical line would look so cute. Puffy little squares. Yeah, I was flipping it again. I was wondering how I want to quilt it. Like, do I want to sort of quilt it following the pattern that I kind of made in the fabric to kind of highlight it, or do I just want to quilt it next to the joining, like the squares? That would be a lot of quilting though. I need to check with the batting that I have how much space you can have between seams too. I keep forgetting to post, but have been sort of candy cotton pink. Ooh! I love that. Following the pattern will make the design show up more. You mean like if I follow, like if I quilt along the design? Is that what you mean? Because yeah, I'm gonna have to hand quilt it. I don't have a machine. So yeah. And it's not, I mean, it's not a big piece, so I think it's not gonna be too daunting to work by hand. I'm probably gonna use sashiko thread or pearl cotton, like a bigger, more decorative kind of thread than when you machine quilt. You can use finer thread, but I feel like doing that by hand is I feel like it's the strong suit of hand sewing to do that. At least quilting stitches don't need to be esteemed. Yeah, I don't even do it consciously. Like the piecing stitches, I just zone out and piece stuff together. Are you going to quilt in neon? I would if I had any neon thread that's suitable for that, but they don't really make size 8 or size 12 neon thread. I've looked for it. I've emotionally checked out of my handpiece. Oh no! Do you know why? Or you just, like, you woke up and you were like, I'm done with this. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna just set it aside for a bit and possibly come back to it at some point? So my options for quilting this little piece, I'm pretty sure I have some like kind of rainbow-ish looking, like a variegated sashiko thread that has rainbow colors. So I need to look it up, see if it fits. Because I feel like if it's a rainbow thread that has pink in the mix and not too much red, I think it would work well, because I have a lot of pink, yellow, and like a few bits of purple, and like very little cyan blue in there. So if it's the proper rainbow, I might use that one. Otherwise I might, I don't know, see if I have some pink thread. I feel like that would work. Oh my gosh, Alex! Hey! I don't know that I'm doing the longer edges. I'm just not into it as much. Yeah, the long seams are something else. It's not as interesting for the brain. I feel like when you get to a step that is more about like very mechanical and very kind of lengthy of the same thing. Like when I was doing these long seams, attaching all the stripes, if it was just one big long seam, I think it would be more difficult. What like kept me interested is that every time I had done a block, I had to maneuver around the seam and then do another block, maneuver around the seam. So there was kind of a rhythm there still. And I feel like for all the stuff that is just about you mindlessly do the thing, but continuously without having to, without any rhythm to it, I feel like that's the harder to keep focused on. Erica! Yay! Hi guys! Hello! I'm hating maneuvering around the seams. Yeah, it's improv every time. Like I was saying earlier that this is definitely a hands-on item, because some of the squares, they don't really line up well. There's a, you know, they don't connect all that well, but I don't really mind. If anything, it shows that it's a handmade item. It's a bit like painting within the lines, in a way. It's also stressful trying to make sure the edges match with the center square. Yeah, well, the quilt top you showed me, the pattern is a lot more finicky, right? Like this is not very finicky, it's just half square triangles. And yeah, it's ideally they would like all fit in the corners of the seam, but eh. I'm wrestling with Didi and watching a charity stream. Oh, which charity? Didi neglects to be philanthropy. Hold on, what? So that's the perfect word for it. What was the word? What did I say? You know what it reminds me when I see handmade items? It reminds me as a kid when I would, like, I don't know, say go to my grandparents, and everything there was different from what we had home. Like, not the same couch, not the same blankets, not the same frames, not the same anything. And I remember spending a lot of time like looking at things, and like if let's say the sheets they were that I was using to sleep over there, if there was a specific pattern on it, I would spend time just looking at the pattern and kind of seeing how it goes together. And I feel like if there was a cushion like this, I would spend a lot of time just looking at it, being like, oh, is there a mistake on it? Where can I find, is there just one triangle with this pattern on it? Where's the other one? And you know, just absent-mindedly just look at this and just work my brain like that. Oh, finicky. Yeah, finicky. So yeah, that's kind of my mindset. I feel like the fact that there's one scene that's really off, and it kind of cracks me up. Just how look at these. These are so not aligned, but I feel like it kind of adds to this idea of like, have you visually found everything there is to find about this piece? Like, if you like, oh, how many triangles are this pattern? How many? Oh, look, there's this pink pattern, but it's not exactly the same as this one, and there's just a lot of stuff to visually work with. Oh no, finicky. Finicky. That's a cat. I'm pretty sure that's a cat. That's very, very, you know, precise about what they want. Oh no, I messed up on chat. Hold on. Wrestling with DD while watching a short stream. Okay. A bit of fabric manipulation is allowed to get seams to line up. Charity of the Sun Stars. It's a Mario Run move. Oh, that's really cute. So nice to see the same patterns in your pieces that aren't. Yeah! Yeah, I keep thinking about that. Like, whenever I see, when you show me like photos of your quilt or whatnot, it's always interesting. And also when I see other people show pieces they've made with these fabrics, in my head I immediately go like, oh, they use the auto fabric. And I definitely forgot a paper there. But yeah, I fully expect all of my hand-sewn projects to not match up exactly, to have a couple of mistakes here and there, and I'm kind of okay with it. I have to be okay with it, because the part that I don't really like about sewing is the finickiness. You have to undo this whole part and do it again if it's a millimeter off. That's the part that I don't like. Persnickety. Both those words are pretty cool. I believe the naming rights for Liberty Fabrics are like £100. It goes to charity. That's not too bad, actually. I was watching, so that's really funny. Okay, so since Otto introduced me to EPP and sent me these Liberty fabrics, not things I were familiar with at all before, but especially the Liberty fabrics. Like, I knew by name what they were, but I had no real idea just what it was. And ever since figuring it out, we were watching the show The White Lotus. And in season 2, one of the characters loses their luggage and they have to buy like a bunch of new clothes in Italy. And at some point the dude has a shirt on, and I was like, I I looked at the shirt and I was like, that's definitely a Liberty fabric. I know for sure it is. I don't have the exact, like, it's not like I've seen it, but it has to be Liberty, just the way it looks. And at some point the character turns around and he has a big Liberty written on his back, and I was like, ah, obvious. And then I received a newsletter email from Winsor & Newton, and they were like showcasing Liberty fabrics as well. And I was like, what? Okay, come on, I'm ready for it. It's stunning. Oh, thank you so much, Erica. Really, thank you. There's already a Liberty fabric named Eve. It doesn't have cats on it though, so I'm a bit bummed about that. I don't think Liberty has any has any cats fabric. No, that 100,000. Wait, what? Oh, in Suicide Squad 2, the rat catcher 2 is wearing a top made from... I'll have to look that up. We're gonna start like a repertoire of all the sightings of Liberty fabrics and stuff. I don't know why, but there's really something about the way their floral patterns look that you feel you can spot from a mile away. It's when they're sitting in the bus. I'll have to check that out. Liberty Japan just released an animal range. I think. What? Would it surprise you guys to learn that I have a fabric bin that's just for fabrics with cats on them? And that it's substantially full already. I also have 2 patterns of quilts with cat shapes on them, and I want to make one of them. I want to make extra meta and like have it be the cat shaped, made from cat pattern fabric. Nope. I'd expect nothing less. Hi, Salome. Sorry. Hi. Like, at all, I'd be surprised if you didn't. Right? That would be the really surprising bit. Probably surprising that I don't have 2 bins of cat-themed fabric. But yeah, I'm thinking of making one. I could show you the look of it. Because I made a binder where I printed out a lot of the patterns. So it is this one. Oh, see, they kind of did it. Like, this pattern has cats on it, I think. But I want to make this pattern, this like design, but every single cat has cat fabric. So it's like extra duper extra cat. And I think the backing would also be extra duper cat. Like all the cats. I'm glad we both have cat profile. Never enough. Yes, absolutely do it, totally. Yeah! Cool, thank you. I'm definitely doing it. It's gonna be quite a learning curve because it's I think it's a regular kind of piecing thing that goes on, and this part, I've seen it in many patterns and it makes no sense to me at the moment, but the cutting guides, that just look like a nightmare. That looks nightmarish. Like, first of all, I don't have enough space on anything to lay out fabric this way and then be able to cut it. And then, how do you keep it straight? How do you cut it, like, So, there's gonna be quite a steep learning curve on this one. Though there's one thing that I'm realizing regarding a lot of quilt patterns is that you can probably get away with making them very scrappily. Like, you know, sometimes they will, this is not a good example because this one is super scrappy, but okay, let's see, check, you can see this one? I hope you can see, I hope the glare is not too bad. But this one would probably ask you like a bunch of yardage of specific fabrics, but I feel like you could use whatever you have on hand and just make it the most like hodgepodge quilt ever. Like insanely scrappy. That is a complicated cutting hand. Okay, that's reassuring. Yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of, that's where I feel like my vibe is at the moment, is to make everything super scrappy. Because you see, like, this is a beautiful, like, color coordinating pattern, but I'm pretty sure I could get away with making it super scrappy. You just gotta treat, like, each block as its own thing and scrap it up. I need to get in the shower, but comfy clothes. Oh no! Well, if you're quick, I mean, there's still about 50 minutes going for the stream, so if you take a quick shower, you can actually do both. Oh my, you will need a big cutting mat, quilting ruler, and I have a rotary cutter, I have a small-ish quilting ruler, and I have a decently large cutting mat because I use it to cut imperial sheets. But still, it's not like exactly as big as the fabric is. I have not seen a cutting mat before. Most of the ones I've seen tell you just how many pieces of what size you need. Okay, I like that. It's just about values. So I think what I might do is, like, I feel like what works with EPP for me is that it's very visual. So if it requires a bunch of precise fabric shape, I'm just gonna print them out, cut them out, and use that to understand how to cut my fabric. Oh, you will end up with many quilting rows. I only have 3 at the moment. I have a small square 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. I have a slightly larger square, I think it's 4 inches by 4 inches, and I have a rectangular ruler that I've never used. Like I said, I bought these things like ages ago and kept them until now, but I've never really, like, I'm absolutely the kind of person who goes into the fabric shop and be like, that looks useful, I might need that, and get it. I'm banned from rotary blades. Oh no, how many times did you cut yourself? They are so sharp. One time I just grazed like my finger on it, just barely, and it cut deep enough to bleed, and I was like, okay, that's good to know. I've seen cutting maps before, but they are just to guide you. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. But look, see, that one could also be quite scrappy. I don't have a huge fabric stash, so it might be difficult to keep it the values. Like, I have all sorts of light colored for the background and all that, but I feel like it all could work. I have a bunch of printed like scrappy. This is super scrappy and I love it. This could also work. So yeah, basically, and I have another cat pattern somewhere. I don't think it's in here. But yeah, I've been reading about this stuff, and like this pattern is fun because it's EPP, but on a curve, which I was like, oh, that sounds finicky, but like in a good way. Like, the kind of skill you want to learn. It was 2 really good ones and several. Oh, fudge. Oh. And the 2 bad ones were less than 10 minutes. Oh no, no, no. Why were you still handling a rotary cutter 10 minutes after cutting yourself so badly on it? Dude. Why? Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's... Exactly, you went back. But I was determined to finish the job. Well, I mean... What, the fabric was not bloody enough already? That's why I have a rotary blade that I have to squeeze to get the blade out. Yeah, mine is like that too. It's the Alpha one. I think that's the only brand I've seen do rotary blades. It's like this. So you do have this plastic protector, this blade, they call it the blade cover, because you can't cut with it on, like it protects the blade. But I was cutting a thing and I went to grab something else and I just like barely grazed my hand over the cutter and it was enough. And I was like, oh, okay, this is very sharp. Roger that. So people who uses rotary blades, what does the size of the blade really change? That one stays open. Oh, but that one doesn't count? I don't want to check it, but I feel like it would kind of be still difficult to cut yourself. Because the mechanism is still quite sturdy. Like if I push on the plastic cover thingy, it doesn't go back. You really have to manually do it. You use the smaller one for curves. Oh! Oh! Oh, that makes sense. It's counterintuitive to need to cut towards you. What? Mine goes back into the protection if it's not squeezed. That doesn't sound arthritis friendly though. Oh, it's good. Go to do. Because I was like, if I need a bigger one, like these are quite expensive, really. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to have to buy another one. And also, I found an inexpensive thingamajig that you can resharpen your blades rather than having to replace them all the time, because the replacement blades are also quite expensive, and it kind of feels stupid to throw away a full blade that's just a little bit less sharp, you know. You don't need a bigger one, it's just quicker. Okay, good to know. I'll stick with mine. I mean, I have one and it works, so. Nobody is grain friendly, no weird brown stains on my fabric. I have a heirloom fabric that I inherited from my grandma. And I don't remember the nature of the stain, but there is a brownish stain on it of unknown origin. So that's like just the craft of it is one of the options as to why there is a brown stain on it. Like all rules for cutting with anything are cut in a direction away from your body, but the rotary pushing is sort of dangerous. I've always like with X-Acto blade, you cannot cut away from you. Really, the best you can do is, you know, cut slightly at an angle, but sometimes you need to be able to go far and go towards you. Like, I feel like the rules of cutting are more dependent on what you're trying to cut. If it's something that can snag or have resistance, then indeed you're better off cutting away from you, because if the blade snags and then releases, it's going to be harder to control. But if you're cutting something that is easy to cut and does not cause issue with control, you can cut. It's much easier to cut towards you than away from you. Or at least in my world, pulling the blade towards me keeps it against the guide. Okay. Sharper the blade, the easier it is to cut the fabric, so you don't have to press too hard and therefore less. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I feel less bad about, you know, snapping off an X-Acto blade, because it feels efficient. Throwing away a slightly dull rotary blade doesn't feel efficient. So I was glad to see that apparently there's a thing you can use to resharpen them. I'm like, okay, if I can get a bit more life out of the blade before having to fully discard it, I feel a bit better about it. Pushing derailed the blade for Though, speaking of sharp things, sharp needles are something else entirely. Like, you barely just slightly poke yourself and it's like, it goes in so easily. It's like, oops. Also, sewing kits should have a specific section just for small band-aids. Like small bandages for whenever you poke yourself. Also, cats are not good fabric weights. They try hard. Absolutely. Aww. They're always there to help. Always helping. Should try to find a way to make the most cat quilt possible. Like, its final shape is a cat's head, and the pattern on it is a tessellating cat pattern, and it's made from cat fabric, and it's backed with cat fabric, and it's made for cats. Yeah, I think that would be good. I think that's a fair try at making it the most cat thing possible. And then the cats would show absolutely no interest to it to make it fully a cat thing. Quick cat side note, Bear has a totally unique voice. Oh. So he speaks to the sitter with a different voice. That's adorable. I saw these adorable fabric weights the other day. Liberty fabric covered vintage sewing rails. Oh, they were so expensive though. So I bought some of the vintage reel threads. Oh, that's a good idea. You have to show me how they look. I want to see. Cats love quilts. I have yet to try to like see what mine thinks of quilts, but my experience with cats is that like whatever you set up for them has a 50-50 chance of being an absolute success or a total fail. No in between. It's super high-pitched and chittery, and it's oh my god. I wonder if Bear is mimicking meows that your cat sitter makes to her. That's possible. Because I mean, cats, they mostly meow to communicate with us, not to communicate between themselves, so it would make sense from their point of view to adapt the meowing to the person they're trying to communicate to. True, Dexter is extra with me. He knows it works. Oh, that's so funny. I also learned what a pantograph is. And I hope I got the name right, but it's the patterns that they use when quilting quilts with a long arm machine. You know how you can have it be like, oh, I want the quilting to be in the shapes of clouds. Well, the actual like pattern that they use with the long arm machine, that's called a pantograph. Oops. Me. He'll be like, yowl, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yowl? I'm like, really? And he's like, oh, I feel so alone. And at that point, you just gotta ride the wave. I started doing that with my cats. Whenever they get like chatty, I ask them, what? 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 And repeatedly. Oh, hey, box of paint. I know that Otto is probably gonna wait until all the episodes are out, but are you guys checking the new episodes of the Pirate Show? And no spoilers, of course, but just curious to know if you are watching the episodes as they come out, or if you are also waiting on the full season to come out. Has extra potty meows when it's like a toddler complaint. And he cooperates but wants you to know he isn't happy. Most often heard with oh no. Leah Day has quite some videos. I'll write that down too. No, I'm not gonna say any spoilers. That's the whole point. No spoilers. Just wanted to mention that the episodes are starting to come out, and because I know that Box of Paint enjoyed it. I'm the other type that likes to do both. Watch them as they go and then I watch them in a binge. That also works. But yeah, they are releasing more than one episode per release date. So last Thursday they gave us 3 episodes. And I think we're getting more than one next Thursday as well. That's all I'm gonna say. Just wondering if you had seen them. I can't imagine having a quilt top long-armed and there's some issue and the person has to like seam rip the whole like quilting work. That sounds nightmarish. I miss that excitement of waiting for the next one, but attention means all at once I pick up more. Yeah. It's easier to make connections between stuff that happens if you can watch the episodes on a shorter delay than having to wait a bunch of time for the next episode. I agree. We've really enjoyed Ahsoka and we'll watch in a block to make sure I'm sore. We're currently watching the new Castlevania series on Netflix. Definitely doesn't have enough Alucard for me. No spoilers about anything in chat. Come on, guys. But yeah. You know, I care a lot about a series if I wait till it's over so I can watch it all in one go. I can't do the waiting whole week between each episode. Yeah, definitely. Really depends on the series, but the waiting part is the worst part. There are some series that it will drive me bonkers to not know what's happening, and I feel like navigating the internet can be really tricky with spoilers if it's something that I really don't want to be spoiled about. So those I will try to watch when the episodes come out, but at the same time, the wait sucks. Hey Dan, hello! So what was something delicious that you guys ate this week? Let's go back to our food talk. That is completely not a risk for spoilers. I'm gonna make some hot chocolate. Ooh. I'm having ice cream because I'm an adult. Fair enough. Oh man, ice cream is so delicious. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Wow, I really sewed through the paper on this one. Everyone just ate a pizza. Homemade pizza. Homemade pizza is always a success. I love that it's getting a bit cooler and we can start using the oven more and make a lot more homemade pizza. I think it will be the chips on the way home from dancing. Butter pecan. Ooh. Hey, welcome back, Sunway. It's going to be 25°C tomorrow. Ugh. That's too hot. We're going to an Oktoberfest event tonight. I've got earplugs. But I think it will be fun. Oh yeah, it's known to be loud, really? I didn't know that. That's so funny. I hope the food and drink will be delicious. I never was a big fan of sauerkraut, but the sausages. Sausages are amazing. I love sausages. I think my keyboard is messed up. Oh no. Currywurst. The breakfast in Germany must be amazing. It has to be. My grandpa on one side was from Alsace, so basically stuck between Germany and France. And they would, you know, when the family get together, we would often have sauerkraut and backwurst, and they would skip the sauerkraut for the kids because it was wine sauerkraut. which I've always found absolutely disgusting. Oh, it was always like something that bummed me out. Like my mom would always do a very shitty job of removing all the wino freaking sauerkraut from the sausages, which, I mean, at first are basically like fancy giant hot dogs. So as a kid, and even as a not a kid, but you know, like the sausage was fine. It's all the taste of wine and whiny cabbage on it that was always gross. And I was like, Mom, why can't you? Why do you keep bits of that disgusting sauerkraut on the sausage? I don't want to eat it. I don't want to be a wino. Sorry. I hope that wasn't that. Yeah, that was buggy. Sorry. I bought some loops by recommendation, and tonight will be the first. Oh, the earplugs. Huh. Great response. I've got chocolate chip cookie dough. Ooh. And someone's eating cookies and cream. Sounds delicious. We got told off when we checked in because hubby said we are doing an Oktoberfest thing, and she was like, that is Germany. So funny. Sauerkraut can be amazing. I guess it can, but it can also suck. Oh, sorry, just not a big fan. Never was, never will be. I'm trying to see if I forgot any papers. I don't think I did. I think I got them all. Alright. There you go. All nice and not very flat. Sauerkraut and a salt beef Reuben. Yes, please. Ugh. Well, you can have it. I'm gonna take a really quick bio break. I'll be right back. had my carefully crafted chili for dinner. What does it have to be carefully crafted? I kind of need to widen it by 2 hexagons and then prolong it for as long as I have hexagons. So let's see. You've been busy. Well, I haven't touched this one in a bit. I prepared all the hexagons, but set them aside and worked on the one that you saw before. I don't think I'm very much in frame. Hold on. I'm gonna move the camera, so be careful about that. I love seeing how much you've taken to EPP. It's all your fault. In a good way. Oh, thank you so much, Ginger. I mean, it's not like I designed the fabrics or anything, but yeah, these are super interesting, I feel like, for a holiday fabric, because instead of going with the usual red and green, they went with magenta and kind of a teal color, and I really like that. It's all my fault. I'm so proud of you. Oh, I really have these. Let's be clever about this. I love it when I have just the right amount of a thing. I know I'm gonna have to make more, that's not the issue, but I had 5 hexagons left of this particular pattern, and I needed 5 to complete this expansion. So there's something really satisfying in that. I have so many craft projects I want to do and very little energy at all. That's really that's a bummer. Really sucks when you want to do stuff and like the brain is not cooperating. Do you want to talk about them? I'd love to know more about your future crafting projects. Oh yeah, that's true with those. I did put the glue on the fabric instead of the paper. So I have the fabric weights to make from these vintage sewing spools I told you about already. I might try winding with metal wires to... Ooh, that's a good idea. They're wood, right? They have to be wood, so they're not hollow. I love how the glue stick and the glue pen match the fabric. That's kind of funny. And I want to make some Christmas presents, something small and only for those who appreciate handmade things. Stab at the one friend who just got a package from me and was meh about it. Oh, definitely. I can bring the baseball bat if you want to be a bit more blunt than just stabby. I want to do a large cross stitch project. Pattern for... Oh, really? What's the pattern? I have the fabrics and plans for 2 more quilts and 3 tops. Oh, that's a beautiful list of projects to do, though. And then I have 3 projects that are going right now. So you have the hand-pieced top that you've shown me. What are the other crafting projects you have right now? Do you try to alternate between lengthy projects and quicker things? Like, just as an example, okay, so there's a quilt top, and then I want to do this pouch and this like the weights, and then I'm gonna work on another quilt top, like something a bit more lengthy. Oh, the tatting lace, that's true. And I need to finish off my auntie's knitted blanket so I can take it with me to Japan next month. How is it next month? That's an excellent question. How is it next month? How is that possible? Oh yeah, I need quick projects. Okay, good. Because I feel like that's the contributing factor to the sort of fatigue, general fatigue of things, is only having one type of projects. Also, I find that having just one project at a time is not conducive to being creative. Like, you got that covered, as you have 3 at the moment, but yeah, so I have this one and I had the other one, and when I got stumped on this one because I wasn't sure what size I was gonna make it, well, I could work on the other one, like put my energy on there. And then when the other one, I'm like, oh, I don't know what I want to do with it at this point, well, I can go back to this one, because in the meantime I've decided what size I want it to be. And you know, just being able to channel the energy on 2 projects depending on the needs of the moment is, I find, really helpful. Yeah, it's a balancing act. Crochet daily or quick sewing projects are ideal. Ice cream update. I had to tap out, but Handsome finished mine for me because he's a champ like that. New brand, what? New brand, much denser and creamier. Ooh. My craft of choice. I hope to start again soon. I miss candle making. Ooh. I think you mentioned wanting to do some candles as gifts, right? tend to have multiple projects at once with varying levels of energy needed to perform because... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the whole thing. Like, to have a project where, like, okay, well, on this project, I'm at the mindless step of doing whatever. And on this other project, it's a bit more, like, brain consuming step of whatever. So being able to hop from one to the other, I feel, is always quite helpful, and also it's a good way to defeat any kind of resistance you might have, because sometimes you're like, I need to work on this thing, but I have to draw it on the computer, and I really don't feel like drawing on the computer right now, and I'm like really preventing myself from getting stuff done. Whereas if you can be like, okay, well, I don't want to draw on the computer, what else can I do that it's not necessarily on the computer, but that will still count as progress towards something that needs to be done. And it kind of feels good in the end, because you're like, yeah, I did it, I did a thing. I don't have the spoons for much aside the odd art either. I guess I'm scared to give them as gifts in case they burn out. But yeah, but it's their I know how you can solve this. You gotta make them cute enough that people will never want to burn them up. My project for tonight is reconstitute and TLC for gouache palette. Ooh, I mean, that's an important step. But yeah, it's a good one that you can do, like while you know, saving up some energy too. Like it's not too involved. You're not gonna handle like strong chemicals or anything. You don't have to be particularly careful about stuff. It's not too much of a mess hazard, you know, like it's not like dealing with inks where you can spill them or stuff like that. It's a bit like sometimes all you can do is paint swatches, and that's perfectly fine. I got into wax melts a bit more, much safer. People being idiots isn't your fault. Dryers come with a do not use in the bathtub. That's brilliant. What's brilliant? Have a fun time, Bags of Paint. I hope it's not too horribly loud, and I hope the food and drink is amazing, and that the people are super fun, and that your hair catches in the blue light. In the UV light, because that would be amazing. I don't know, I think it's a different time zone, but he's in the Netherlands. Have fun, Salome! Anyway, I'm about to end the stream, as we are getting close to the 4 p.m. line, and I just want to finish gluing these hexagons. I have about 4 left. That shouldn't be really that time consuming. Little hexies. I hate that. Hexes is such a prettier word than hexies. What? Well, I hope you guys are gonna have a fun weekend, and there should be probably another sewing stream, let's be honest. Next weekend, same time, same place. Maybe a different project, who knows. But yeah, until then, I hope you have a fun week, and I want to thank you guys a lot for being here today to be there for the stream. And yeah, I hope you have a good week. I hope you craft fun things this week and eat good food. Oh, thank you so much, Otto. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, guys. And yeah, see y'all in the next one. And until then, I hope you have the best of week. And yeah, we can hang out on the Discord if you want to chat about stuff during the week. But otherwise, see ya in the next one. Bye bye.